And we got to talk to him, man. He's coming to town to see if he can change the lives of some of the young men in the 242. He goes by the name of Mr. Brandon Frame. Welcome to the Morning After, Brandon. What's up?
Much. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you. Just a truly honor to be a guest on the show.
All right, my brother. Now, you are a guest of the University of the Bahamas. They're having a men's seminar. Basically, it's all about understanding manhood. Now, I know you run a program over there in the U.S. Let's talk about your program and how you became involved with this whole movement about changing manhood and the way young men see manhood.
Yeah, while I was in college, I attended Morehouse College, and while I was there, I just saw MK Asante is one of my favorite scholars. He says, once you make an observation, you have an obligation. So I made an observation that boys and men of color need to see positive images of themselves and need to have their stories told. And that was the catalyst for starting the Black Man Can, which we started in 2010. And since then, it's grown into a nonprofit and lifestyle brand and digital platform to celebrate, educate, and inspire Black men and boys.
All right, now I noticed that you spoke about young men of color, and you. Why is it that you chose to only focus on young men of color versus just young men in general?
Because one, I'm a young man of color, and I thought about my own upbringing. Like when you just think about the name, the Black Man Can, I thought about like growing up, I wanted to be a sports broadcaster, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that. I didn't know it was sports broadcasters that looked like me, so I always wondered if it was possible. And so that's what it represents. That's why I'm focusing on specifically young men of color, because they need to know the opportunities that are available to them and the things that they can achieve in this world. And so we're trying to create opportunities for them to see that.
Now, this conference is actually happening on January 9th, which happens to be Thursday from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. right there at the University of the Bahamas. And it's called University of the Bahamas and the Black Man Can Movement, which happens to be your movement, right?
Yes.
They invite all the male 11th and 12th graders to come to this all-men conclave. And pretty much, what's the goal of the conclave? What's the goal of this conference? What are you guys aiming to have achieve at the end of this conference?
Young men in attendance will be able to develop positive self-identity, foster and develop brotherhood, and have an opportunity to build bonds and meet men from the Bahamas as well as the United States who are doing amazing things with their lives. And they'll see that these are different ways and get tools that allow for them to be able to do the same thing with their lives. They're going to receive copies of the Black Man Can Journal, Define Yourself, Redefine the World, the guided journal for boys and men of color. They're all going to receive ties that have been donated from people all over the world. And we're going to teach them how to tie ties for the ones that don't know. And then, help the ones that do know, we're going to ask them to help their fellow brother out to learn how to tie ties. So it's going to be a really powerful day. Two amazing keynote speakers, amazing presenters coming from all over to work with the young men.
You know what's amazing? Like, although you're having this entire conference, you just made a mention of a feature that's going to be there about tying the ties. And it's amazing how many young men, as simple as it seems, actually do not know how to tie ties and don't have anybody to show them how to tie a necktie. As simple as that sounds.
Nice. Like, very true. Like, I think at least at all the summits that we do, at least half the room doesn't know how to tie a tie.
That's amazing, man. That's truly amazing. Now, I know you're bringing a lot of your friends along with you. I see you have Mr. Marcus Bethel, who happens to be the founder and CEO of Make Music Count. What is that all about, if you can help me?
So I go through. So we have Marcus Blackwell. He's the founder of Make Music Count. It's a tech company based in Atlanta. So he's going to be coming and talking about how he built his business and designing apps. We have Ilbert Sanchez, who runs Garçon Couture. And he's going to talk about being well-dressed and how he built his design and clothing company. And it's changing the world through imagery for men of all sizes and colors. This is good. We have Malik Champlain, who is a real estate investor and runs Passion Hunger Drive. So he's into empowerment. He's a chief empowerment officer over there. And then we also have, I know I'm missing somebody off the flyer.
The Kanata
Nicholson run Hip Hop Gives Back, and how hip hop can use hip hop to change people's lives. So we have, like I said, an amazing group of men coming from the United States and Mark Abelard, who is going to be talking about mental health and breaking that stigma in our communities, especially in the Black Caribbean community, around going to do mental health and accessing that so that we can be better for ourselves, our community, for our society.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a very interesting piece that he happens to bring because, mental health is still a taboo topic, especially young African Americans and, of course, Black people all around the world. It's very, very taboo. Like a lot of people, we don't want to talk about it or we don't want to address it. We always think that there's other reasons for it without realizing that it's just simply a mental health issue. So that's going to be very interesting for him to bring that. What about conflict resolution? Is that going to be a part of the conversations?
Conflict resolution, leadership development are all different topics that we're going to be focusing on over the time that we're there.
That's going to be a pretty busy day, man. For one, this seems like you guys have a lot to cover and a lot of great speakers. I'm looking down at so many different names on the different flyers. Even from the local side of things, we have a lot of people who are very influential here, and the 242 also going to be a part of this conclave. So we're going to talk some more about it because I want to make sure that as many young people hear about this conclave, especially the young men. It's UB Men, Understanding Manhood, featuring Mr. Brandon Frame, who happens to be the founder and organizer of the Black Man Can. So definitely we'll talk to him some more. Brandon, did you hold the line? We can get him some more music, some more vibes real quick. We're definitely going to have a great conversation as we get everybody ready for this big conference that's coming their way on Thursday, January 9th at 8, I think it's at 8 a.m.? Yes, at 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. right there at the University of the Bahamas. Y'all keep it all talked to Morning Team, as always on More 94.
Off of the gram.
There's so many other names you could have gone with, but why that? The Black Man Can.
That's such a great question. I actually originally was thinking about, do I do Black Man Can, Black Man Can? And I actually just pulled some of my friends, and it really actually started from me using Twitter back in 2010, and I just started using it as a hashtag. And then I just started seeing people retweet my tweets and really vibing with that hashtag. Okay. And so then I was like, I'm gonna name the organization the Black Man Can, because we started as a blog originally. So like that's where it was. I was like, what's a cool name for a blog? Like, you see companies out here. You think about most companies are like one word altogether. Like that's kind of like you got Uber, you got Lyft, you got like just one word. And I was like, what's a word that really is a state, but it's also a statement? And that's what it is, and the Black Man Can, and that is how we got there.
I like that, man. Now, I know there are a few schools that are already confirmed. Bahamas Academy, CV Bethel, R.M. Bailey, C.C. Sweeting, St. Anne's, Queens College, Doris Johnson, Pace Christian Academy, C.W. Sanders, and a few more. But if your school, if you're an 11th grade or 12th grade student right now, and especially a young male, and your school is not involved in this so far, and you didn't hear anything about it, when you get to school today, make sure you ask your teacher, to ask the principal, to reach out to the University of the Bahamas and see if they can be involved in this as well, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be life-changing for a lot of the young men who get to attend this event. Some of the notable names out of the 242 will be in attendance. Kieran Smith, he'll be doing a speech. Of course, Tyrone Burrows, Mr. Don Sargent, shout out to my friend Renbert Mortimer, Nathan Sweeting, Wellington Hepburn, Lincoln Deal II, and Jamal A. Rule, man. Jamal Rule, he'll be there as well. Shane Smith will be there. It's going to be a lot of reputable names. And of course, in the last break, we made mention of some of the folks that Brandon Frame is bringing along with him. And these are some really reputable folks who are making a big impact in their own communities. And now they want to help us change some things in our community as well. So how did this collaboration between the University of the Bahamas and the Black Man Can come about?
Yeah, so we have to give a big shout out to Kendra Knowles. She is a doctoral student here in the United States, and she works with me at an organization called the Urban Assembly. And she came to our conference in New York City, and she said, this has to come to the Bahamas. And so I said, I'm down. I'm ready to make it happen. Let's do it. And she reached out to Rembert and pulled everything together, and here we are, so Kendra is like the glue, the plug to make this all happen.
Sounds really good, man. So shout out to Kendra, and thank you to everybody else who's a part of the organization for making this happen, man. The goal of this conference, once again, just remind everybody, what is the official goal of this male conclave?
Understand manhood, develop positive self-identity, break down stigmas around mental health, and overall to show that the Black man can.
And you guys, like you said, this is something that has been going from city to city in America. How's the response been from young men in America?
Oh, absolutely amazing. So we launched our first summit in 2013, and since then we have over 7,000 young men have attended our conferences. We've been to over 13 different states here in the United States, and multiple cities, bring the work that we do. And then we do a lot of other things, not just the summit. So with our movement and all the programs and activities that we do run, along with having a really large social following, we have about 500,000 followers collectively through our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So through all of that, we are constantly, every day, every second of the day, showcasing positive images and narratives and telling our stories.
What is the one thing, even before the conference starts, what is the one thing you would want young men listening to us right now know?
That's a great question. I think about the words of Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays, and he says, every man and woman was put on this earth to do something unique and something distinctive. If he or she does not do it, it will never be done. And so for everybody out there that's listening, there's something that you're supposed to do. There's some purpose that you're here to create impact in your community, no matter how big, how small. There's something that you're supposed to do, and if you don't do it, it will never be done. So take that risk, take that jump, and know that God has, I think, ideas are spiritual children seated by God inside of us, and He gives us He places the people around us and gives us the tools to make those dreams a reality and those ideas a reality, and that's what you're supposed to do. So don't doubt yourself on your abilities to make things happen.
I like that, man. I like that. That's what we call true inspiration. Of course, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this conference is happening on Thursday at 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. right there at the University of the Bahamas. It's a free conference. Once again, students, we know that's a school day, so you probably need to talk to your teachers, your guidance counselor, somebody, your principal, and see if your school is not already signed up to be there. If you can, I'm pretty sure if you reach out to any of the members of the organizing committee over there at the University of the Bahamas, they will make a room for you, because this conference is a very, very needed conference here in the 242. Man, we're faced with so many challenges. I think at this point we're already at the third murder for the year, man. So anything that we can do to help change the mindset of young men in this country is something that we definitely stand behind and support. So we want to thank Mr. Brandon Frame for taking time out of his busy schedule and bringing some of his friends down to the Bahamas. I know you're going to enjoy the sunshine and sea, and of course, yes, the hospitality of our people. But we definitely want to thank you for taking the chance and the time to bring a message that is so needed to so many young men around the world and bringing it here to the Bahamas, man. We want to say thank you, and we appreciate it, all right?
No, thank you.
All right, looking forward to being there. Once again, it's happening at the University of the Bahamas this Thursday at 8 a.m. So if you are free from school, if you're able to attend, make sure you are there at this conference. It's for 11th grade and 12th grade students. I'm pretty sure they make exception for some of the university students as well. So just try your best to be in attendance. If you're a young man and you know that you want to do something different in your life, you want to be inspired, you want to find, new methods and new ways to make your purpose found or even achieved, then this is the type of conference you need to attend. It's all about understanding manhood. Once again, thank Mr. Brandon Frame, all the other guest speakers who are going to be in town. It's going to be an amazing conference, so make sure you're in attendance. And I don't even know if we made mention of this at any time, but it's absolutely free. It's absolutely free, so you can attend this event and not have to worry about a cover course. Just come there with an open mind and ready to be inspired to make a change in your life for 2020. Keep it out, locked in. More 2 minutes here on 194. Once again, thank you, Brandon Frame. Enjoy the rest of your day, my friend.
All right, thank you. You too.
I can talk about